What's going on, everybody? We are officially just a couple weeks away from the NFL season, so I'm going to continue my series here. Only a couple more videos left until the NFL season starts. I'm going to continue my series here on draft decisions, talking about two players that are going really, really close in ADP and deciding if you're on the clock and you're looking between these two players, who will you draft? On this video, we've got two quarterbacks that are going in the middle rounds of fantasy drafts that are back-to-back in ADP in most leagues. We're going to talk about, if you're on the clock, which one should you take? I'm Hutchinson Brown from Footballguys. I'm at HutchinsonB_FF on Twitter. Before I get into this video, make sure you all subscribe to the Footballguys YouTube channel. Click that notifications bell so you'll be notified every single time a new video drops. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Today we are talking about Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, going at pick 75 overall as the quarterback 9 off the board, and Russell Wilson, who's going at quarterback 10 off the board at pick 76 overall. So we're going to start with Dak Prescott, start with the argument for him. Prescott, I mean, he has a great track record of scoring fantasy points. I mean, 4 of his 5 of his fully healthy seasons that he's played in his career, he has finished in the top 10 of fantasy point. I mean, he is just great. He's just so good for fantasy purposes. He is awesome when he is on the field healthy. This is a productive offense as well. This Cowboys offense is going to be good. I mean, this offense is just going to be amazing. I mean, they always find a way to score points. They always find a way to get the scoreboard, light up the scoreboard. They always find a way to do so. It's Jerry Jones. It's Dak Prescott. It's Zeke Elliott, Tony Pollard, CeeDee Lamb. It's this offense. They're awesome. We could see more rushing production out of Dak this year, too. I mean, second year off that broken ankle, and we've heard a lot of reports in camp saying he's going to run the ball more. Watch out for more running the ball this year. Let's talk about the negatives with Prescott. This is a limited receiving core. Obviously, I mean, I know I was talking about this offense still going to be productive, but this is one of the more limited receiving cores he's ever played with. I mean, you got CeeDee Lamb, you got Jalen Tolbert, a third-round rookie with some potential. You got Dalton Schultz. Outside of that, it's a bunch of nobodies. Like, this receiving core is very shallow. So if someone were to get hurt here, that's a bit of a problem. This offense could be run first. I mean, this offense proved last year that they were running the ball. They would love to run the ball with Zeke Elliott, Tony Pollard running out the clock. And this Cowboys team is good. They are a good team that's going to be winning a lot of games. If they're in the lead, they're not going to be passing the ball. They're going to be running the ball, and that's going to hurt Dak Prescott's fantasy football production. So let's move on to the Russell Wilson side. Talk about the argument for him. Russell Wilson, just like Dak Prescott, has always been great for fantasy. In 8 of 9 fully healthy seasons, he has finished top 10 with 4 top 5 finishes. 4 top 5 finishes in those 8 seasons. I mean, dude's just a monster. He is an absolute monster for fantasy purposes. He has a loaded offense in front of him. And sure, he did in Seattle, but it's still the loaded offense in front of him. And it's an upgraded offensive line as well. I think, honestly, if you look at both offenses, where they're at, like where the Seattle offense has been at in the past couple of seasons and where the current Broncos offense is at, you could argue that the Broncos may be a better offensive situation because of that running game and how good they look this year because of that upgraded offensive line. So I think that Russell Wilson's in a great situation this year, not necessarily because the receivers, DK Metcalf and Lockett, are just out of this world as a duo. Sutton and Judy will be great, but those two on Seattle are just out of this world great. But when you look at the situation, it's still a loaded offense for him. Russell Wilson could be unleashed this year for fantasy purposes. I mean, the Seattle Seahawks used him as a game manager, and now the Denver Broncos have invested a ton of capital in him. A ton of capital in him. And Russell Wilson has been, complaining about being a game manager. He clearly does not want to be that. And Seattle's used him that way. And I feel like Denver's going to see that and be like, you know what? We now have, we have Sutton, we have Cortland Sutton, we have Jerry Jeudy, we have KJ Hamler, we have Alberto. We have some weapons. We have a quarterback. Let's freaking use him. I think they're going to unleash Russell Wilson this year. He could lead the league in passing attempts, and I wouldn't be too surprised. So about Wilson's one negative. I think Wilson's a very safe fantasy football quarterback this year with a lot of upside, but there's one negative, and that's his rushing. It's going to decline this year. I feel like we've seen a slight decline over the past couple of seasons from Russell Wilson. I mean, he's past 30 years old. We usually see that in running quarterbacks when they pass 30. They're not as athletic anymore. So I feel like Russell Wilson, we're not going to see like 400, 500-yard Russell Wilson, more like 300-yard Russell Wilson, which is still good, but not where we've seen him before. All right, so when you're on the clock and you're looking between Russell Wilson and Dak Prescott, I'm going to be taking Russell Wilson, quarterback of the Denver Broncos. I mean, I feel like he has a better offense around him, number one. And I feel like that he's the more talented quarterback. And I think that when you look at the potential for who could lead the league in passing attempts, I would lean that Russell Wilson has more potential there. Dak Prescott has a great defense behind him, great defense there. He has, and I think this team honestly could be better than the Broncos next season, honestly. And the Cowboys have just shown that they wanted to run the ball last year. The Broncos just made a huge investment in a quarterback. I feel like they're going to want to use him. So I feel like Russell Wilson has the better chance to be unleashed this year compared to Dak Prescott. So I'm on the clock. Those two are on the board. I'm going to be taking Russell Wilson. It's definitely a close call, though. All right, everyone. That's it for this video today. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Please subscribe to the Football Guys YouTube channel. Click that notifications bell so you'll be notified every single time a new video comes out. I'm Hutchinson Brown for Football Guys. I'm at HutchinsonB_FF on Twitter. We'll see you all next week.